Hey guys, Tycondrius here again with a special video review for a retro toy from the early 80s, and a lot of people might recognize this, and it's basically what it is. It's called the robo-skull, and it's from a figure line called Action Force over here in Europe, and it was released by a company called Palitoy. And as you can see, the figure in the front is one of the Red Shadows. These are the main villain figures for Action Force, and pretty much all the figures were these sort of style figures, in the sense that they were just 5-point articulated figures. Heads would just rotate, arms would just move up and down. A lot of these use the same sculpt. All these guys basically they started off as Action Force, and then they became kind of the basic Action Force line was mostly just modern military not modern military at the time, but more kind of World War II style military at the time. Hence you can see these guys are based off a kind of German uniform. Basically what they did was they reused the molds, sculpted new heads, gave the characters different names, different type sections, because the good guys were divided into several factions. There were different teams. There was Q Force, which was the deep sea guys, SAS Force, which were kind of special op commando guys. There was SAS, not SAS, but Z Force, which were kind of the basic kind of artillery, foot mobile infantry type guys, and then there was Space Force, which as the name indicates were the kind of space-faring guys. I do have other figures from this, but this is the one that I'm reviewing at the moment. What this is the robo-skull. This was the biggest vehicle that they had for the villain characters, which were known as the Red Shadows. And this vehicle came with its own pilot called Red Wolf. Now, I don't have the original Red Wolf in it. The one that I have in it is actually if I just bring him out there, he's actually a custom figure that I made for him, because I wanted to kind of modernize and update the Red Shadows a bit. So I made and painted up this custom version of Red Wolf, the pilot for the the robo-skull. So he can actually fit into it fairly decently, and that's where the pilot sits in the front. And it's basically what it is. It's a very similar design to the old Star Wars TIE fighters. So if I just bring it in closer, you can see there's 4 cannons on the front. This one's a slight bit broken. One of the tips is broken off the cannons. There's cannons for the eyes, cannons under the chin, and then what it would do, if I can just bring it back a bit, bear with me a moment, is the rings. You see, it's quite old. Rings would rotate around, and you have an extra 4 cannons on either side, and I think these were cannons as well on the front. So you had an entire ton of weaponry pointed at whatever was firing at, and these are the rocket boosters down at the back. You also have cannons at the back and an opening cockpit area as well at the back, and there's another piece underneath here, which I think was supposed to be like an escape hatch. So when you pull this piece back, it opens up this kind of escape hatch type device for the pilot to escape from. And again, you got more boosters here. It's a bit squeaky, could do with a bit of oiling, and the wings just rotate around for it when it's kind of stationary for landing. So it's a fairly quick review, trying to not go too overboard on it, but again, it's a really old toy. Unfortunately, trying to get these in very good condition can set you back quite a bit. I've seen these things go for anywhere from 80 sterling, because mostly you can only find them on the ebay.co.uk site or the eBay Europe side, so you're looking at either sterling prices or euro prices, so they can go from €80, 80 sterling, anyway up to 180, 190 thereabouts, because they're so rare and so sought after. I was lucky. I picked these guys up. I picked this one up at a local comic book store about a good 6 or 7 years. Actually, I think it's even longer now. A good couple of years ago. It wasn't in the best shape, so I ended up having to pick up a few extra parts for it just to finish it off. But other than that, I have picked up the pilot for it. Unfortunately, I don't have them close to hand, but as I said, it's a very cool, very rare figure, or very rare vehicle. For someone who's a die-hard Action Force or G.I. Joe collector, it would be a very nice thing to get for someone for their collection. Either complete, incomplete, they're not too hard to probably find, but getting parts for it, original parts, you probably get cast parts at this stage, but original parts for it are fairly hard to come by. So there you go, guys. Just a quick video review for this awesome ship. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you want, click like on the video. If you want to subscribe, and if you want to comment, feel free to comment. I may have gotten some of this information wrong about Action Force, but off the top of my head, that's just the stuff that I remember. So hopefully you enjoyed the video review, and hopefully you enjoyed seeing this vehicle in its fairly decent, fairly complete state.